Thank you, Emily. Wednesdays have quickly become one of our favorite days on Low Country Live, and it's all because of this lady, Zoe Skinner. She joins us.
I heard
she saw wine, and she's like, "It's Wine Wednesday." And today, I love this. It's something I'm not familiar with. We're talking about wines that are made from volcanic soil.
So I decided I did take a trip to Italy a few weeks back, and part of the journey there was exploring some of the wineries that I'd never been to that I represent, where they have soils that are heavy in volcanic flow. And so I'm just bringing a couple of those up. And to dive into it, you ladies are welcome to sip as I talk.
All right. I was just about to give you a hard
here.
time about your work assignment, but ours is not much
So
worse.
when you say volcanic, like it's inactive, or is this just residual, like old active?
So we're going to focus on two active volcanoes today. And they're both in southern Italy. The first one we're going to speak about is Vesuvius. So Vesuvius, a lot of people have heard about because of the famous eruption in 79 AD, which completely leveled the town of Pompeii, right?
Yeah.
Well, there are vines growing up Mount Vesuvius and have been for, we know, at least 3,000 years.
Oh, wow.
To give you an idea. So this is a very, very ancient winemaking country. These vines originally came from the Greeks. So you have vines growing in volcanic soil. Now, what's interesting about Vesuvius is that it's right outside the town of Naples. Naples, very well known for pizza.
There you go.
Where it came from, historic home, although we're very good at it these days, the Americans. And number two, as my husband was delightfully happy to discover, is also the home of espresso. So espresso, pizza, volcanic wines. And those wines here that are grown on the slope are called Lacrima Christi. And Lacrima Christi means tears of Christ.
Oh, wow.
So there's a legend that goes with this, which I love. So the story is that as Jesus was ascending into heaven, he looked down, he saw the beauty of the Bay of Naples, and he shed tears of joy. And where his tears fell were on the slopes of Vesuvius, creating the wine.
The wine.
Yes. So here, for example, there are a couple other legends. That's kind of the easier one. Now, the vines have been there for 3,000 years, so before Christ. So obviously the legend has changed a little bit over time, but really interesting. So those wines, Lacrima Christi, they're not... Is
that what we're drinking right now?
It's not.
Okay.
That's why you guys are just drinking and looking pretty.
You keep going.
So the wines...
Get a refill.
The wines of Lacrima Christi are available. For example, Ken Vadrinsky is a chef at Trattoria Luca and Coda de Pesci out there on IOP. One of the best Italian chefs in town, and he has both Lacrima Christi white and red on his list. So a great place to go to those two restaurants to explore some more unknown regions of Italy.
Is there any other way to get these wines?
There are. You could also, that's
Italy?
just the wines that I know. You go to Italy, but you could also go into your local independent retail store. Again, I cannot express enough times on this show. When you go in, instead of asking for your favorite, go and say, what have I not had? Show me something. And you could even walk in this week and say, hey, you know, I heard about wines coming from volcanic soils. Do you have any that you can recommend?
Okay. Because that's not a section you see in the store.
Nope.
I've never seen that.
No. Husk, the restaurant downtown, has a wine list that's actually written by soil type.
I have seen that, and it did not make sense to me until now. I understand.
There you go.
Now,
because soil is such an important part of the terroir of a wine, which is really why we're talking about this, right? Terroir is the holistic word used for where a grapevine is growing. That means the soil, what that soil is made of. It means the slant of the rate of the slant of the, what's it called, the hill. It can mean how much rainfall that area gets, so a lot of different things.
So is this not as popular because it's rare, right? I mean, there's only so many volcanoes. There's only so much.
Volcanic soil is not exactly very readily planted on at all. Now, the next volcano I want to talk about briefly is Mount Etna. That is down on Sicily. And the reason I want to bring that up is because you will see that more readily on wine lists because Psalms have taken quite an adoration to this wine growing region. So again, they actually grow white and red, but Mount Etna is so different than Vesuvius. Mount Etna, or Vesuvius, big giant Mama Jama volcano, Still active. Last eruption was 1944.
Wow.
Which kind of freaks me out.
It's a
The
little
whole time I was there, I was like,
a little too recent.
But Mount Etna down in Sicily erupts regularly.
Yeah.
And there are these gentle flows of lava. Now, the last major eruption, there was a pretty significant lava flow, but no one died. And on Mount Etna, they always point up to the mountain when you're there, and they're like, she's the one who's in charge. She's in charge.
Sure.
And they also say, we're glad we're here and not in Vesuvius, because they're like, who knows when the next time Vesuvius is going to go. But the wines from Mount Etna are really, really fascinating. They can be really light in color, but really strong in texture, and that's the second one.
Is that the one we're
You can
drinking
dump
now?
in here, and we can taste the second one if you want.
Oh, is that what we're doing? This seems silly.
You've never
to
done
dump
this before,
wine.
dump.
We'll refill up the show. We'll refill up the show.
It is only 10 a.m.
No, I am curious because it seems like they're probably pretty rare.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they're expensive? Are there different price points?
There are different price points, but I really want everyone to take notice of, so the name of the wines you're going to see on wine
This
lists.
one's a different color, like you said. It's really lighter.
It's a lighter color, so you can see through it, right? Which is actually part of this grape. It's called Nerello Mascalese. You don't need to know that
I'm
for
not
test
going to repeat
later.
that.
No. The important thing is to know that wines coming from Mount Etna are Etna Bianco and Etna Rosso.
That's lighter. I like that.
And
is
they're
good.
really delicious, and you will see them throughout Charleston on wine lists. And just take
so
note
this
and
is more
try
common.
it.
And this seems, because it's lighter, like maybe a little summer. Like a lot of people don't drink as much red in the summer because it's hot. This seems like that would be okay.
Like a breakfast wine.
We don't
It is
discriminate.
10 a.m. So.
There you go. So thank you so
Yeah,
much. Always
absolutely.
interesting when you come here. So again, when you go to the stores, just ask. If we go in and say, I would like wine made from volcanic soil, they should be able to point us in the right direction. What are we doing next time? We don't know. Put you on the spot. Put you on the spot. We'll see you next month.
Maybe something else Italian, probably.
Yeah, more wine in a month. All right, stick with us. We've got much more Low Country Live in just a moment. Cheers.